Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for attending our Lunch and Learn session on Amazon Connect. Just before we start, that's the event code. If you can send any questions there in advance or during the presentation, that'd be great, and I can answer those questions at the end. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is just what I'm going to cover over the next 40 minutes or so. Just a brief introduction to what is Amazon Connect for those of you not familiar with it. Some common use cases, just so you can get a feel for how customers can use Amazon Connect. Why Amazon Connect is an important solution, pretty groundbreaking in the current time. How to stand up a cloud-based contact center. And then towards an omnichannel experience, and then actually building a solution on Amazon Connect, and then more onto the machine learning aspects that we can take advantage of through Amazon Connect. So this is going to be more of a technical bias. We'll probably have a subsequent presentation on customer experience and from the business perspective. So there's a few kind of business advantages here, but it's mainly a technical bias on this presentation. Okay, so Amazon Connect. It's a cloud-based contact center, basically. It's extremely easy to set up, being in the cloud, being from AWS. They've took away a lot of the hard work and the effort in setting up things. So it provides a seamless omni-channel experience, and it's a unified contact center at the back end as well that ties all these channels together. So just some use cases. Probably all familiar with calling into a call center and then getting through to an agent, probably being put on hold with some nice music and being put in a queue. That's one use case, common case we can have for Amazon Connect. So it supports agents, queues, and customers calling in of the telephone. More recently added is chatbot as well. So again, with human agents, but this time interacting through a chatbot, say on your website or your mobile phone. Interesting thing here, this can also be automated as well as the calls. So it doesn't have to be a human agent. This can be a chatbot that can manage voice or chat. Pretty traditional usage is what's known as an IVR menu. This is those press 1 for your balance, press 2 to make a payment. So this is a kind of traditional thing you might be familiar with, where you're pressing numbers on your keypad. That can be handled by Amazon Connect as well. But the more kind of less common scenarios is you can simply forward telephone calls in from customers to anywhere else in your organization or any other numbers. Appointment reminders. Amazon Connect has the ability to call customers and send outgoing calls. So this can be part of an outbound campaign or reminders for your customers. And lastly, something I implemented was actually credit card payments over the voice channel, over telephone. So Amazon Connect made this pretty easy to do with its PCI compliance. Okay, so that's some use cases. I'll just go into main advantages of Amazon Connect. And really, I want to contrast these with how it compares to a traditional, like a legacy system, for example, Genesis, which tends to be pretty heavyweight, hard to set up. Excuse me. So Amazon Connect is cloud-based, first of all. It allows remote working for agents and for supervisors and for all of the kind of admin personnel. So you're not tied to an office location. It's pay-as-you-go, which tends to be a lot cheaper than the traditional contact centers. It scales up automatically, so Amazon's handling all the hard work behind the scenes there. You don't have to worry about telephony or servers. And it's extremely quick to get started. You can stand up a contact center through the AWS console pretty much within minutes, and probably have something running within a couple of hours, I think. So I'll just break these down, each one. For cloud-based, the advantage is that you're not managing infrastructure. You can focus on your business. You've not got servers to worry about here. Another big advantage is you don't have to worry about phone lines. Amazon's actually gone and done deals with telco providers all over the world. So you've got international numbers at your fingertips. It's as simple as just choosing a number and allocating that number to yourself. A good advantage of this is if you did want to suddenly have a presence in another country, it's very easy to obtain a phone number in another country. Sometimes you might have to prove a business presence there, but generally it's pretty easy just to have an international phone number. Cloud-based also means you can make use of employees in other countries. There's nothing stopping you having agents in a different country to where your business is now, because they're all remote. But I'll talk about that in the remote work on the next section. A big advantage in the current climate with the pandemic is that Amazon Connect can offer a contactless way to connect with your customers. So where you might have traditionally had to meet your customers in person, now it's pretty quick to set up a chat or a phone. For example, a restaurant that suddenly needs to start taking phone orders. Amazon Connect's an ideal solution just to get that phone number, have customers call in, and suddenly you've got a new channel and you're back in business. So working remotely, a big advantage of Amazon Connect is agents and supervisors can all just access Amazon Connect through a web interface. You don't have to be at a desk with a special, dedicated phone lines. It's using WebRTC in the browser, so it runs in Chrome and Firefox. So it's very easy to get started. Just need basically an internet connection. So something that was pretty difficult to do with a legacy contact center. Suddenly realizing that all your staff need to work from home. Again, common case we're all familiar with now, working from home, and what a sudden change this has been. So anyone set up with Amazon Connect's already prepared for this. There's no VPNs, there's no telephony. It's just browser, access your account, and then using the multimedia features of your PC. So not only can the agents make inbound calls and outbound calls, the supervisors can also monitor agents just like they would in a normal call center. So this can all still be done remotely. There's dashboards to view, run reports that can check service levels. So there's nothing that says the agents and supervisors have to be co-located together. Other things you can do is listen to call recordings, check the contact center performance. So yeah, this is all remote, not tied to a call center. There's interesting advantage that it offers up a whole new workforce in a way. You might have stay-at-home mums or disabled who can now access and be part of your remote workforce. So the pricing of Amazon Connect, being an Amazon product now and cloud-based, the advantage is it's pay-as-you-go. There's no contracts. There's no per-user licensing. You can just spin it up and tear it down as needed. You're not paying for agent licenses while they're sitting idle. So you're only paying while a call's coming in or a call's going out. So no upfront investment, very easy to get started. And this allows a certain amount of experimentation. So a small company that might have been out the reach of a large call center suddenly now can try things out even using the free tier of Amazon. So it's a very accessible service. There is a small fixed charge when you've got a phone number reserved, just to be clear. But apart from that, it's you really, if you're not receiving calls or making calls, you're paying very little. So scaling, Amazon's taking care of all the heavy lifting here. All the infrastructure is on the Amazon cloud. You don't have to worry now about planning for peak loads here. Your traffic spikes can just scale up. You shouldn't really have to concern yourself with the amount of traffic coming in if you've done a promotion or suddenly there's an incident. Amazon will be taking care of that traffic. So tens or hundreds of agents can be scaled. I think the default soft limit is about 500 agents per instance, but this can be upped if you contact Amazon. So the great thing here is that there's no office space or telephony connections needed as well. As I say, it takes all that out of the picture. Another advantage is that it's extremely quick to stand up. The advantage, an example of the American Red Cross during Hurricane Harvey, which actually set up a call center within 48 hours using Amazon Connect. And this included getting the agents trained up and having phone numbers allocated. So incredible speed to actually get something out there and running. As you can see in emergency situations, that's a big advantage. Okay, so I'll just go into some details about how you can stand up a cloud-based contact center, just to give you some idea of what's involved. I'll just approach from two sides, so the business perspective and then more of a technical DevOps perspective. I think from the business, the main thing is you can just get started with this. You can give it a try without, risking capital or expensive, contracts being signed. Get a phone number, put some automation in place, get some feedback. Not need to hire an agent workforce. Maybe just try with a couple of agents initially. I say tech is not needed. There is an asterisk next to that. I think to get started, technical expertise is probably not something you need initially. However, for integrations later on, you will need technical expertise just to do these kind of integrations, more advanced flows. But initially, if you want to get something running, it's a fairly easy process just to have business people access the flow builder. So for onboarding agents, again, you just need to give them a brief script. That will probably take longer than the actual onboarding, which is really just giving them a laptop and an internet connection. That's all they need. I'd emphasize that this has really lends itself to more of an agile delivery technique. So you want to be starting simple and then iterate, see what works, run some tests. You can conduct A/B testing just to find out what's practical. A good example is the NHS in the UK stood up Amazon Connect and to deal with the new inquiries about the e-HIT card or the health insurance card. They're able to deflect calls from agents. About 42% of agents, calls were handled by an automated bot rather than getting through to agents. The other advantage is that Amazon have done their diligence on this and made things very compliant for standards like SOC, GDPR, and PCI compliance. So it's just interesting to have this ready. If your business might be affected by GDPR, if it does business in the EU, then customer privacy is a concern. Then Amazon Connect is has already taken this into consideration, so it could save a lot of pain further down the line. Okay, from a technical perspective, pretty easy to spin up an environment in Amazon Connect, which makes it pretty good to have multiple environments for dev, test, and production, all completely separate. So suddenly you're not running tests in production, trying to deploy things and breaking things. For developer environments, if you each have your own AWS account, you can have an Amazon Connect instance as well. So you get to play around with Experiment, makes it extremely easy to develop new features. There is a slight limitation at the moment, not found really a way to put Amazon Connect into a full build pipeline. It tends to be more of a manual process to import the flows. However, it does support versioning, and there are some APIs. So for things like outbound calls and managing agents, APIs do exist. So hopefully things will be added to in the future. And another aspect is automated testing. Amazon Connect doesn't mention too much about this, but I think what you can do, because it's just an API through the chatbot, that lends itself just to have an automated framework that's making API calls. For end-to-end testing, one idea is to use Amazon Poly, which is a text-to-speech engine, and use that to actually simulate a user. The outbound calling API of Amazon Connect can be used to make the phone call. So it's a bit like using Amazon Connect to test itself in a way, using that technology. Okay, so just how does Amazon Connect support omnichannel? Amazon Connect's got a chat, voice, and outbound channels at the moment. And it's important to note that this can all be personalized for customers. So you can, whatever channel the customer comes in on, you can do a lookup, get their personal information, authenticate them. For example, look up any flights they might have booked or recent purchases they've made. And this offers a good way to then give a convenient experience for the user. They're not having to explain something. You can suggest, is it their flight that's been cancelled, for example. Also important is that all these channels ultimately come through to a single integrated contact flow on the back end. So this means you've got logs and analytics, routing and queuing all in common. So it's a single flow you have to edit, multiple channels with customers switching between us as they come in. It's also good from a maintenance point of view. You're only building one flow. You're not having to build this for chat and voice and various other channels as well. Now, there are examples where the chat's been integrated with WhatsApp that I've seen, so other chatbots can be used as well with a bit more technical impact. But certainly out the box, you can have a web and telephone supported by Amazon Connect. A good feature is that the history of a call or a chat is preserved. So if you switch between agents or you switch from chat to voice, that history still exists. So you're not having to repeat yourself and you've got this context stored. So just about how we build a solution on Amazon Connect. As I say, it's about being agile, iterating, starting simple, taking a vertical slice of functionality. If you can get feedback early on, you can improve what you've built, and you get this kind of virtuous cycle of customer experience, where you're increasing the benefit to the customer through analytics. Customer has a better experience, they're able to use the workflow more easily, the agents can contribute to this, it all feeds back to each other. I think our approach for this would be to assess first, just set some expectations around cost and complexity to deliver. But as I say, it's best to start simple, choose a use case, build this out end to end, and get something into production. That's really starting small and iterating. Depending on your case, if it's a greenfield, I'd say it's very quick to set up. So you're definitely at an advantage there. At a more brownfield, if you've got an existing call center, it's more involved, but Amazon Connect can sit alongside your existing call center, and you can gradually migrate functionality across. So you could send users for certain journeys off to Amazon Connect and just siphon them down a certain path as you build out your functionality. So it offers a staged migration route. Now I just want to talk about the contact flow. This is at the heart of Amazon Connect. So as I say, this contact flow is common to all channels, and it's really what the customer journey, if you like. It's a drag and drop interface, and it's meant to be used by business users. There are more advanced features like integration, calling out to Lambda and APIs, which you probably need technical expertise, but I think it's good to be able to see this flow, make simple changes from the business point of view. So there's some features I'll go through here. So this is just an order lookup. So a customer's calling in, and then they want to transfer that out for delivery. So you've got these preset blocks here, so you can log the behavior. You can set the actual voice. I think there's about 50 or so voices you can choose from in Amazon Polly now. So various accents, Australian accents as one that's been added fairly recently. And you can capture the customer inputs either from the phone pad or from text to speech. So this integrates very well with Lex chatbots. So you can have a more natural conversation. Well, you can just ask a query rather than having to go through a menu. So there's playing of prompts, and those prompts, I say, can be integrated into APIs, and looked information can be obtained. And then you can transfer users into queues and be put through to genuine agents. And then other features you might experience of a contact flow, which is things like call recording as well, for training purposes. I'm sure you're familiar with. So this just gives you an idea of the ecosystem around Amazon Connect. You can see on the left we've got the contact flows, which I was just talking about. AWS Lambda is used as a general purpose way of integrating with external services. So Salesforce is a common one, and customer databases to do things like customer authentication and just look up orders. And then also business intelligence, so you're recording what has actually happened. Call recordings, as I mentioned, this is all just simply stored on S3 with limited storage. You've got ways of managing agents through an API, so for workforce management. And then metrics and a data warehouse, which as we'll see later, is integral to our machine learning basis. So I guess things you can save are things like past purchases, contact history, and business intelligence, and customer tendencies. It's worth mentioning that Salesforce and Zendesk and Zoho have pre-built integrations, so it makes it relatively simple to integrate with these. You don't have to start from scratch. However, there is an API as well on the control panel here, so you can do a custom integration with any backend system. Okay, so I'm just going to go into a bit of detail about machine learning now on Amazon Connect. As part of the whole cognitive customer experience, here we're presenting Amazon Connect as an integral part of the whole customer experience. There's a lot of services that tie in very nicely with what the customer can see and do. So you see Connect at the top, and I've already mentioned Lambda. You've got your text-to-speech engines, but also we're now getting into machine learning here. So comprehend and transcribe can be used to record conversations and turn them into text. Pinpoint can be used to send SMS messages out and help with a location of a customer. So lots of very complementary services that go hand in hand with Connect. It's important to note that from these, it's to have a plan for data readiness, because all your calls are coming through Amazon Connect. This makes it pretty easy just to have all this stored in a central place already, so that when you are ready to conduct machine learning, you've already captured this information. And then you're providing benefits back to customers, back to operations. And this is all the advantage of having this data collected that's actually going to be turned into information. Alexa's mentioned here. This is a way now to get interactions into the home from customers. So this is an exciting aspect that could be explored further. So from this machine learning, we can use to reveal patterns. We can perhaps analyze success and failure calls, what's contributed to why a customer's been happy or not. So some of the services from that previous slide, I'll just talk a little bit about. Amazon Transcribe is a way to perform real-time speech recognition. This creates a high-quality text transcription of each call into text. This is at the core, really, of machine learning engines, that you first need to get this voice into text to be analysed. So this is a key component. You can then do things like run through Amazon Comprehend, which is can detect, for example, the sentiment of the caller and identify keywords and phrases in the conversation. Amazon Translate, you can translate the conversation into many other languages now. Say the agent are not fluent in the customer's language, this can be used to translate that. And then there's the natural language interactions. So you've got text-to-speech, which is Polly, and then speech-to-text the other way, which is Lex. This is using the same technology behind Alexa in the home. So this allows you to have those natural conversations with an automated bot rather than having to press numbers on your keypad. And I think having Amazon Polly as well, you've now got human-like speech. You can put pronunciation and pauses, lots of other human qualities in the speech. So it's not just this robot voice that you hear on the other end of the line. Also worth mentioning is the fact that we've got contact trace records here that are recorded. So this is a record of a whole conversation. So this is great for analysing your customer interactions. And it is an open platform as well here, so you can take the live media stream, so the live voice, export it on a Kinesis video stream. And I know an example of this is to do biometric authentication. So you can pass this voice stream out. Or again, you can convert the speech to text and then analyze this with any machine learning platform. So don't worry too much about every component of this, but I just wanted to give you an idea. This is how Amazon Connect, just there on the top left, can fit within a AWS ecosystem of machine learning. So what I've just mentioned there, we've got an audio stream go into Kinesis that's been transcribed into text, being stored in DynamoDB, and then it's actually being analysed by Translate and Comprehend. So you can see there's all these components which provide a full service for artificial intelligence here. And I think this actually gives a real-time feed of what's the conversation that's happening between the customer. Another interesting solution coming out of Amazon, integrated with Amazon Connect, is contact lens. This seems to be basically, I guess, packaged up machine learning that's just very accessible. And it's got pre-built contact center learnings, if you like, machine learning patterns. So things like sentiment analysis, automatic detection of, I guess, of compliance risks. Say if your agents need to adhere to some certain script, the trends and the conversations, is there any silences or misunderstandings? So this gives you an idea where you can analyze agent-customer interactions and see what's successful and where problems are. It also provides a full text search. So on call transcripts, you've now got the ability to scan through these and access this data where I guess previously it would have been very difficult to analyze hundreds of thousands of calls. So I think an example where you might use this is, say, where an agent can't help a frustrated customer. Interruptions in a conversation, you can detect this, the speed of the speech, or maybe where an agent's having to repeat themselves. And again, all this can be output into any machine learning models, so it's just offers outputs. It's not a kind of a closed system. So that'll be interesting to see what's involved in that. So I'd like now just to briefly just go through a few issues I've found with kind of deploying and building on Amazon Connect. I think I touched on this before, but I've not found an easy way at the moment just to integrate infrastructure as code into Amazon Connect into a build pipeline. It is a bit of a manual process. As I say, there is versioning on the contact flows. All your integrations, of course, are serverless, so they can be put into a pipeline as usual. But it would be nice, I think, if Amazon Connect could be stood up in an automated way and features deployed to that. Another is authentication. Amazon Connect supports internal authentication for agents, a directory service, but also SAML as well. This is a little bit limited because you've still got to put the users within Amazon Connect. Just transferring a phone number, I think it's more the telco providers that are probably the problem here. But if you have an existing number, you need to allow at least a month to get these ported across. It's a bit of a manual process. The chat implementation is not a great developer experience. There's no widget just to plonk on your website. There is an API, but you still have to do some technical details for auth on the server. And another consideration is that the Lex chatbot is not always available in the same region as Amazon Connect. So you just have to go cross-region for that, which can lead to delays. Just for auditing, AWS config we found is not supported at the moment. So if you did need to audit things, you're going to have to find another way to achieve that. And finally, just for agents, you're limited to Chrome and Firefox I don't think IE is a supported browser, just if your organization uses IE. Okay, well, just to summarize, I think really what's a big advantage of Amazon Connect is now that call center technology is available to everyone. It's so accessible that really is no reason just to be able to try this out and be accessible to sole traders or large enterprises. Amazon, as usual, as handling the undifferentiated heavy lifting here, which means as a solution provider, we can offer, we can focus on the application level. We don't have to worry about phones or networks or any of this low-level infrastructure. As I say, for the developer point of view, the infrastructure as code would be nice to have, and a few more integrations with AWS services, but I think the benefit you get from integrating with the AWS ecosystem is fantastic. And overall, it's very accessible. It's all kind of web-based, console-based, so business users can get started on this. But as a caveat to that, I think to doing integration and more, to get more from the analytics and machine learning, that's something that you'll need technical help with. I mean, DS knows chatbot implementations very well, and further data analytics. And just to say that DS is also a machine learning partner in this respect, so that could be a possible help. I think just having the remote workforce by default takes away a lot of potential problems and headaches in the future when you've got unexpected circumstances, as the current climate, as everyone knows, with the pandemic. Okay, well, I happen now to take some questions. If you want to put some on.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of questions, Peter.
Yep.
So the first one is, what are some of the challenges you face when delivering Connect to clients? Any gotchas?
I think the integration with the various backend systems. There are out-the-box systems like the Salesforce integration, but usually there's a lot of legacy systems, so that just needs a lot of planning. I think Amazon Connect is very quick to stand up, but in my experience, it's the integration which takes the time.
Awesome. And how should I start using ML with Amazon Connect?
Yep. So really, it's the importance of having a data lake set up. As I say, Amazon Connect's very good at this because it's an integrated solution. So you're already prepared. You're one step ahead in that respect. And then it's just a question of analyzing your requirements. Again, something DS can help with our expertise in machine learning, building your models up and just assessing what the customers are really up to.
Great. Another one, what was your CI strategy given the workflow is pretty much a GUI in AWS console?
Yeah, manual in a word. To stand up an instance is fairly quickly, luckily. So it was generally having instances sitting there already in various environments and then just deploying to them. So as I say, the build pipeline can function with the integrations and deploying lambdas and various things, but the Amazon Connect instance would basically just sit there, and you would have to manually kind of deploy the workflow changes.
Cool. Another one, does Amazon Connect integrate with Alexa?
It doesn't directly at the moment. However, the Lex chatbot and Alexa do share the same backend, I guess. So you can import Lex chatbot into Alexa. So there is some commonality, and you can use the same flow effectively. So you're not having to reproduce code.
Fantastic. Just another one. Can you tell me more about the advantages of using Amazon Connect to allow credit card payments over the phone?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, Amazon Connect is PCI compliant as well as lots of other standards. So this saves a lot of headache if anyone knows what it's like to go through a PCI compliant audit. I think having the solution as serverless, and of course Amazon Connect is a cloud-based serverless solution, immediately you can cross off half the requirements of PCI compliance and just hand that over to Amazon, which is one of the great advantages. So, and it's a common case of fraud where you're reading your credit card number over a phone line that's insecure or has been overheard. So I think it's a really good use case that solves a problem and makes this payments available to small businesses as well as enterprises.
Great, thanks, Peter. I've just had another one pop up. What are some of the reports and metrics that you would recommend when working with Connect?
I think it's user engagement. So it's things like missed intents, checking what a customer's questioning for, the conversation times and satisfaction from that. So you have agent input. So using analytics on those conversations, and a lot of it is just really is the customer achieving what they set out to do. So detecting success rates, products ordered. So it's important to have a success criteria before you launch, so that you know once you're in production what's successful and what's not.
Great, thank you. That's all the questions at the moment. If anyone's got anything else, shoot them through. Otherwise, that might be a wrap.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Peter.